I don't know about you guys, but fall is my favorite season. And there's a certain holiday in October I like a lot too.
No, not Columbus Day. Is that even a holiday anymore?
This isn't going to be a top 10 or anything, no particular order, just 10 different Halloween games on 10 different consoles, so keep watching and hopefully you'll find something to play for Halloween. Starting off the list is Konami's 1987 release, Castlevania. In this one, you play as Simon Belmont, battling your way through Dracula's castle. It has all the classic movie monsters, Frankenstein, mummies, vampires. It's a really difficult game, but not impossible once you start getting the patterns down. Next up is Sweet Home, not Alabama. This was developed and published by Capcom in 1989 for the Famicom. You play as a group of kids exploring an abandoned, haunted mansion to preserve art. This game taught me what a fresco was, because honestly I had no clue. It is a painting done rapidly in watercolor on wet plaster on a wall or ceiling. I understand why they have to preserve it, holy crap. Next up is Gargoyle's Quest. This is a spin-off of the Ghosts and Goblins series. It was released on the Game Boy in 1990 by Capcom. You play as a Red Devil, which is an enemy in the Ghosts and Goblins series. It's never stated if it's the same one that's in the game, but I think that'd be funny, because imagine doing this entire RPG and then you just... Do you think the other games were too popular? Here's one I'm sure you never heard of. Nosferatu on the Super Nintendo. This is different than the other games because it's more of a cinematic platformer than something like Mario. It's a lot slower. This game was largely overshadowed because it was delayed for a long time and came out in 1995, the same year as the PS1. It was developed by Sega. Next up is Ghouls and Ghosts on the Genesis. Something that's always confused me is what's the difference between Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts, and because they look so similar. But Ghouls and Ghosts is a sequel to Ghosts and Goblins. This was released for the Sega Genesis in 1989, ported by Sega themselves but developed by Capcom. This game is the one that coins the term survival horror. Released by Capcom in 1996 for the PlayStation 1. This is the one that started as a Sweet Home remake. It takes place in a mansion. This is the one that started the series, but it might seem a little dated if you're not used to playing games like this because the controls are... When you push up, it moves you forward, and the other directions just pivot you in a circle. Wesker, it's called tank controls. So if it seems a little dated, this game's been remade multiple times and you can play any of them. The next one is Call of Cthulhu on the original Xbox. Arkham Asylum? What are we in, Gotham City?
The shadows between worlds.
This was published by Ubisoft and Bethesda and developed by Headfirst Productions. Look at that dude on the cover looking like a dude out of Trolls. It's an adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's Mansion over Innsmouth. It has no relation to the modern game of the same name. Even though the people that play it really like it, it was a commercial failure, and the company that made it went out of business, even though there was 2 planned sequels. It came out in October 2005 and had been in development since 1999. This next one is Halloween on the Atari 2600. It was released in October 1983 by Wizard Video Games. Holy crap, he just took that kid's head clean off. It's very hard to find due to being a controversial, violent game at the time, and a lot of the retailers that did carry the game had it kept behind a counter on a request-only basis.
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm kinda cheating for this one, but I'm choosing both Silent Hill 2 and 3. Developed by Konami for the PlayStation 2 in 2001 and 2003. The first Silent Hill game is great, but it's not aged well due to the tank controls, and the graphics are nowhere near these two. I put them both at this spot because I've played through 3 and beat it and loved it, but I've seen 2 being described as an experience everybody should play at least once in their lifetime. I've started it, but I haven't got too far, but I'm sure I'll love it. If you just want a great soundtrack to your Halloween, these games are pretty much the best horror games around, and it's sad they're not being made anymore. I could put the HD collection on here, which has both these games together, but they redid the voice acting on that, and I heard the developers did not have the original source code to work with, so they're just pretty awesome. That one's sad for some reason. It has a storyline that makes you want to play one more hour just to get to the next cutscene. I've never played either of these until this year because I neglected PlayStation 2 for the longest time, but I'm finally getting into them. And so is everybody else, and they're getting sort of expensive right now. If you play one game on this list, I would check one of these out.
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm here for you, James. See? I'm real.
What? A Virtual Boy game? Yeah, at this spot I'm putting Jack Bros on the Virtual Boy. This was developed by Atlas in 1995 and is the hardest US release on the Virtual Boy to find. This one even takes place on Halloween. That's quite possibly my favorite box art ever. You play as one of the 3 Jack brothers, either a snowman, a jack-lantern, or a skeleton, and travel through 6 areas made up of multiple floors. This is often considered the best Virtual Boy game, besides Virtual Boy Wario Land. Thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great Halloween.